Costa Concordia, ship of dreams. It's been 8 years.
Oh my god, he's creepy.
I can still smell the buffets from their 5 restaurants. The casino and 3-story theater.
Are they trying to make me
had
hungry?
hardly been used. The gym,
This is a
the
ship?
day spa, the sheets in 1,500 luxurious cabins hadn't even been slept in. Costa Concordia cost $570 million to
never-
build, and you could tell.
570
You
million.
could really tell.
I don't ever want to go on a cruise, Chad. I don't ever want to do it. I don't want to be on the. I don't want to be in the water. I'm scared. I want on a boat. Where does this cord go? Does this cord just come out of somewhere? I want on a boat. Let me know, by the way, Mr. G, if things get crispy audio or if anything and chat, if anything happens. I've been on a boat before and recently, and it was fine, but it wasn't like a cruise. But like, I'm terrified of being in the water. Is there even internet on the boat, right? Good question.
I remember it like it was just a few years ago. We had left Civitavecchia, a port in Rome, and we were
Civitavecchia.
making our way to Savona.
That's
It
a
was
word.
day 2 of our 7-day journey.
Civitavecchia.
But that ship, she was cursed.
Oh,
When she premiered, the traditional bottle of champagne bounced right off the side instead of
Bumblebee, thank you for the follow. Am I quiet still, Mr. G? Over the video, can you hear me well enough over the video? Sorry, guys, I gotta make sure the sound's good. I went on a cruise for my honey. You're good? Okay. You went on a cruise for your honeymoon. It was fun. I won't do it again, though.
smashing.
One time.
A bad omen. But I'm not the superstitious type. Nothing could go wrong on Friday
Yeah.
the 13th
The ladder.
of January 2012, on the 100th year anniversary of
Oh.
the Titanic.
Oh,
On a ship that's
no.
also only safety rated for 2-compartment flooding. Especially
Really?
not when you have a 5-star max level captain like Francisco Scatino.
Oh
A
my
man who
god.
mysteriously rose from head of security to the position of captain within just a couple of years.
He knows exactly what to do in case of an emergency.
Are we sure?
For example, when he caused this emergency in 2008 when he crashed into a port in Sicily. I've got a good feeling about this. So let's set the scene.
Okay.
It's a beautiful evening. People are having fun on the slides, drinks at the bar. Antonio Magnotta is playing piano at the restaurant. Martin the magician is setting up for his show. And the ship is setting up for a little detour. It's
I like the magicians, like Chris Angel type of magicians. I don't know what it is, but like magicians are similar to clowns like me, where they're kind of scary. Like the ones that are traditional looking. They're a little like there's mimes, there's clowns, and there's magicians, and they all kind of like freak me out a little bit. But I don't mind like Chris Angel type, like goth looking
called a
ones.
sail by salute. Basically, you get real close to the shore and honk the horn. The locals hate it, but the customers love it, and it's a tradition. Scatino, the captain, comes into the dining hall with a lady, Dominica Samorton. Remember
Dominica.
this face, because you'll be seeing a lot of it later. Scatino eats his dinner with her and socializes for a little while. Then he, Dominica, and the maitre d' finish up and excuse themselves. They're heading to the bridge. It's time
Not
for
this man trying to rizz up a girl while he's like the captain
that
of the
sail
ship.
by salute. This time, they're going to get closer than ever. Just 1,500 feet from the island of Giglio. And how are they going to determine this distance? Well, of course, the captain is going to eyeball it. Apparently, it's not an uncommon thing to do. Scatino
Is it?
turns to the fella steering.
Are we
his helmsman,
sure?
Jacob Ruslibin.
Bro, it's a sim.
First interesting tidbit. Costa Crociere has hired Jacob from Indonesia at a rock-bottom price, and he's a bit of a newbie to the job. In fact, his profession hitherto, a painter and a cleaner. It's his first time steering a massive ship, and he's very
He's a painter and a clearer, and he's steering the ship. What is going on?
excited. At least, we think he is. It's hard to tell because he doesn't speak English or Italian very well at all. Off to a
Well, they
good
can't-
start.
They
The
can't
second in
communicate with
command
him.
orders the
Oh
helmsman
no.
to 290.
Oh
Now,
no.
don't be confused by these numbers, they're just the degrees on a compass. At the same time, the captain whips out his cell phone and calls former captain Mario Palombo, who lives on the island. They chat about the safe distance to Giglio's shores.
They
It's
did
all very
Mario
casual.
dirty with this editing.
Anyway, Mario says that the safe distance is between 0.3 and 0.4 miles from shore. The captain is going all in. This is not his first sail by salute, so he's confident in what he's doing. We're going closer than we've ever been before. The captain's eyeballing it again. New heading of 300.
Is eyeballing actually a thing that's normal? Is that are we just joking and saying that's normal?
He tells the helmsman.
It is.
Downstairs,
Okay.
Martin is about to cut his assistant in half. And of course,
And you
that means
wonder
that
why
there's
I'm scared
already
of
a lady
magician.
inside this box. She's waiting for the cue, and then she'll poke her legs out. The captain is giving...
I would never in a million years sign up for that shit. I would never in a million years sign up to be in one of those boxes. Dude, you know how like you go to magician shows and they're like, who wants to be the lucky volunteer? I swear, if a magician even pointed at me, I'd be like, no. I'd be like, I'm not going up there. I don't care how many people are looking at me and clapping. I'm not going in your little box, dude. That's why, I think that's the reason why I'm scared. You'd be the one cutting. I wouldn't even do that because I feel like I would mess up. I would be the one, I would be like, yeah, I know this magic trick. And then there would be blood coming out of the box. And I would be like, oh. I would be like, oh, that's not supposed to happen. Oh no. I would actually like, yeah, I would say F no. Like very loud and clear if they tried to pressure me. Don't cut the spite in half, please. Cost of Concordia. Yeah, this is my first time watching. This is definitely interesting so far. Oh no, I accidentally murdered someone on stage. Spite has magic phobia. I have a phobia of like, I think it's the costuming too. Because like I said, like I don't mind Chris Angel because I think he looks like, you know, the goth badass thing. But I think whenever people have the clown look or the magician look or the mime look, there's something about it that freaks me out. Like on top of what they do as well. Does it make sense? Like, I don't know. You would ask them if this was their card and hand them back their credit card. Oh, yeah.
More orders. Pulling gently to 310. Increase speed to 16 knots. Going this fast is going to be a fatal error. But before we talk about that, let's talk about another big problem. Language barrier. Because at this point, the captain says 325, but the helmsman relays 315.
No.
So the first officer intervenes and he goes, no, 335,
Oh.
which is also wrong. And then the captain
Unsettling,
clarifies,
yes.
no, 325. The helmsman confirms 325. Their poor communication has them moving at a much wider angle than they think they are. However,
Oh.
the captain should and would know this, except for the next problem. Complacency about procedure.
My man's main priority is to get some action. Look at him. The arm around the shoulder. This is that same arm around the shoulder that happens when you're trying to move in when you're Netflix and chilling, or when you're at the movie theater and you're trying to make your move.
The standard procedure of a ship this large is for the third officer to give exact positional coordinates every time the captain gives a new directional
I like this
order.
girl.
But they're not doing that.
Oh no.
330, he says. The helmsman relays 330. The ship reaches 16 knots. The captain then turns to the second officer and instructs him to go to the left wing. That's these things here, and they basically exist so you can get a better view over the whole vessel. A few seconds pass, and then the mood starts to turn. Scatino notices white foam.
I don't trust this man based off his expressions alone. I haven't seen a single time this man has actually looked like he knew what he was doing in terms of his expression. This man doesn't even look like he's all there.
Of waves breaking against the rocks directly in front of him in the distance. The Costa Concordia right now is almost 700 meters closer to the rocks than it should be. Without deviation, there is going to be a direct collision.
Oh gosh.
Scatino immediately commands the ship to start turning away.
Oh,
335. Not enough. The captain shouts, 340. The captain yells, 350. Now, remember how I said that accelerating to 16 knots was a fatal error? Well, that's because it's made this ship incapable of such a drastic turn. What they've got is understeer. Here's an example.
The front end is not working. You're turning, and you're just going straight. You want to go over here, but you're going to end up over here.
So despite the order of 350, right now the bow is still only pointing at 327.
Oh,
Not
gosh.
nearly enough to miss the rock. And oh no, it's about to get worse. That language barrier again. In these critical moments where every second counts, the helmsman wrongly relays 340. The captain snaps back, 350 starboard or we end up on the rocks. The third officer goes to assist the helmsman. Now, don't get confused by the orders from here. We're changing over to rudder instructions. The captain yells, starboard 10, starboard 20, and still it's not enough. Hard to starboard. That means as hard as it'll go. But at this point, even if they clear these rocks, they need to get the rest of the ship to swing around it. So the captain yells, midship, which centers the rudder. The bow is now less than 150 meters from Skull Rock. Port 10. But the helmsman only gets to port 5 before another order is given 2 seconds later. Port 20. They might just avoid disaster.
This is on the entire like group of people, because they should have made sure that there wasn't like a language barrier on top of this too. I guess it's a learning experience.
Maybe. But then, oh no. One more time the helmsman cocks up at the worst possible moment. The helmsman goes to starboard instead of port, undoing the swing. 8 seconds later, he realizes the error and corrects, but it's too late. He has just turned a probable near miss into a sure.
So it's his fault.
All they can do now is hold on as the bow of the ship narrowly passes by the rocks. Hard to port. The second officer yells, "We're gonna hit." Collision.
Oh no! Oh god, not the slow-mo! Yeah, it's probably the company's fault, you know, because they should have figured out to make sure everyone knew the same language, you know? Oh man. Well, slow-mo, not the pasta! Yeah, it's the company's fault. Yeah, I would say that. Honestly, you know how many times it actually, like, in any situation, it's usually the company's fault. But usually it's like, it's so like, you know, you go somewhere and you blame the, like, you know, the waiter for something, like it's not on the menu anymore, like F you waiter. It's like the waiter didn't plan out what meals are on, you know, from the restaurant, you know? It's always the workers that are in the wrong for some reason.
Russian roulette. Seems I never win.
Gonna drink all by yourself?
Somebody has to.
I hear you're a man who's good at finding folks.
I'm many things.
I'm looking for this fella.
This is
I got to
Anne.
find him. It's breaking my little heart.
I'll see what I can do. I have contacts in thousands of servers in dozens of countries across the globe. And just like that, she was gone. The only thing she left was a
just
call.
use common sense, corpos. Yeah, whatever. We're gonna do whatever's cheaper. Yeah.
Sometimes when you follow a case, it follows you back. NordVPN can protect my online data.
I like his little characters that he makes.
From myself. When they said this job gets easier, it was just another lie.
Okay, Kyle.
Forensics found his password spread all the way down the block. In a perfect world, we'd all use NordVPN. But I guess this isn't that kind of story. I took the brakes off my car. Man like me never really learned how to stop.
Fuck up.
I took the steering wheel out.
Giggling.
Really learned how to stop.
Shut the fuck up.
I took the steering wheel out too. I let the road take me where I'm supposed to be.
Oh my god.
That's right, Toots. Your husband's dead.
That's right, twits.
Merry Christmas. Go to nordvpn.com.
That was a
internet
win
store
advertisement.
for a huge discount on a 2-year plan.
They need to pay him even more after that line.
Ad over. The ship hits rocks on the port side. A 53-meter gash opens up in the hull, and thousands of tons of water begin pouring in.
Water.
A loud scraping and bang is heard by all passengers.
Well, I guess she's getting
At the
chopped in
helm
half.
is panic. Rumblings in the dining room. Martin awkwardly pauses his act.
Bro, imagine her just being in the box still. Imagine if she was still in the box while all this happens. Like, that's awkward.
As he's helping his assistant into the box. Meanwhile, the lady inside is trapped and terrified. There's confusion across the ship. All of the crew off shift come back on duty. All officers run to the bridge.
She is terrified of the box. This is another reason. This is another reason to not go in those boxes. Oh my god.
Technical crews run down to the lower decks to assess damage.
Get
On
stuck.
connection with the rocks, they lose propulsion and slow to 8.3 knots. And they are now adrift. Close the watertight doors at stern. Enormous volumes of water are pouring in. So much so that within 29 seconds of collision, all
Claustrophobia,
6
yeah.
engines stop working through flooding. 22 seconds later, a blackout happens. Lights, electrics, the water pumps too. Everything.
Oh.
The captain orders the helmsman hard starboard. This is the final position of the rudder before power to that too is lost. The Costa Concordia, now without power, is drifting starboard, plunged into absolute darkness.
Oh shit.
A quick breakdown.
There's
of the
nothing. You have to imagine, like, when I was thinking about the Titanic, a lot of people think like, oh, you know, the ship. It's dark. It's dark, and you're sinking, which makes it even scarier.
flooding.
Oh,
When the Concordia struck land, it tore open 3 watertight compartments.
that's how it is
At
here
first,
too.
Compartment 5, which filled very rapidly. Then 6 more slowly,
friendly
4
knight.
shortly after. Then 7, 8, and 3. Modern ships are built to withstand
Yeah, total
2
darkness
compartment breaches.
while you know you're
These
about to
compartments,
die.
especially though, are a problem because they contain the engines and the electrics.
Oh god.
These main generators give power to the whole ship. From propulsion motors to rudder to hotel functions, pretty much everything. When they went out, the ship was a functionless, sinking cage. A few seconds later, the emergency batteries for internal lighting and communications kick on. When the lights come back on, Martin has vanished. He's ditched the stage. And it caused a huge
Okay,
panic
so the
in
lady
theater
was
as
able to come
passengers
out.
are trying to flee to their cabins and to muster stations. People already in their cabins come out and start putting on life vests. Staff rally and try to
Oh
calm
my
everyone
God.
down. Everything is fine. There's no need for vests. Please return to your cabins.
There's no need for a vest. Shut up.
Emergency generator starts. All of the watertight doors close except for door 12, which is jammed. The captain calls Pilot, the chief engineer, as the ship begins to list on the port side. There's water coming in? Yes, there's water. But where? The engine room. But a lot of water? Yes! There's water, you can't go down. Let's go down the other side.
Is his name Mucus?
In a moment we'll start the pumps, I'll let you know.
Muscus.
In the theatre, the whole magic box apparatus slides right off the stage and falls into the crowd, further increasing panic. On
Oh,
the
yeah.
bridge, an announcement is being prepared. They are going to lie to prevent a panic. Let's just say we have a blackout. The deputy chief engineer enters the engine control room. He
Lot of
confirms to the
water.
bridge that at least compartments 5, 6, and 7 are flooded. Announcements are made.
On behalf of the captain, to inform you that due to an electrical fault, which is currently under control, we're currently in a blackout. Our technicians are working to resolve
I
the
don't
situation.
listen. Anytime
However,
someone says to me, "Oh yeah, no, it's under control," and there's signs that it's not, I know it's their way of trying to like not induce, incite. I think incite panic. I know it's their way, but I'm immediately panicking. I'm like, I don't trust you. I don't trust you. I'm figuring my shit out immediately.
of developments as they occur. Thank you for your attention.
Coincidentally, at the same time in the restaurant, they're playing My Heart Will Go On, and it's very much not helping the situation. The captain calls the Costa Crisis Unit.
Roberto Ferrarini. He tells the crisis unit that they've hit a rock, that they're assessing damages and that they are also in a blackout. The crisis office says to reverse the ship up onto shore. Well, how are you going to do that? You don't have power to the rudder, let alone the ship up.
Hold on. No, the audio's not fucked up, guys. I don't know if you guys heard me. I was coughing. I was coughing and coughing, choking a little bit, so I just muted for a second. That's all good. The audio's fine. Nothing's wrong. No. Yeah, I didn't want to cough into your ears. So I muted a bit. You feel the cough? Does anyone else have a really bad cough? I've been having one recently too. Yeah, I didn't want to like... Well, yeah, I was just drinking some water. It probably looked like I was talking because like the drinking animation is so weird. but yeah, no. We're all good.
Up images and Roberto for helping the situation. Time in the restaurant, they're playing My Heart Will Go On, and it's very much not helping the situation.
Wait. No, they aren't. They're playing that.
Our technicians are working to resolve the situation and will inform you of developments as they occur. Thank you for your attention.
Coincidentally, at the same time in the restaurant, they're playing My Heart Will Go On, and it's very much not helping the situation.
That would make me panic even more. My heart would go on. No way.
The captain calls the Costa crisis unit, Roberto Ferrarini. He tells the crisis unit that they've hit a rock, that they're assessing damages and that they are also in a blackout. The crisis office says to reverse the ship up onto shore. Well, how are you going to do that? You don't have power to the rudder, let alone the engine.
I don't even know why that song would be on a playlist at all for when you're on a cruise. Like, that's the last song I want to hear. That's the last song I want to hear. Oh, God.
Hoist the sails? Anyway, around this time, the wind direction creates a starboard list, and the ship begins to turn anyway, drifting right back towards the shore, which is a very good thing because you want the ship to end up as close to shore as possible. A panicked passenger senses that something is off. This isn't like any electrical problem that she's ever seen.
Well, duh.
Plus, there was a massive crashing noise and now the ship is tilting. So, she contacts her daughter in Italy. The daughter then calls the police, and the police call the harbour master. While that goes on, a conversation between Pilon and Ambrosio. The diesel is not starting. The captain asks the engine room, but where have we made contact?
I like the fact that there's someone, one of the customers, like that's good that she called.
Captain, here everything is lost. The electrical panel, everything. They're saying at this point that the ship is going down.
I would prefer Stairway to Heaven or Highway to Hell than we will go on, because that's the Titanic song. That's the Titanic song.
The captain calls Roberto Ferrarini again. Actually, 2 compartments have been flooded, but don't worry, the ship's stability isn't in danger. Wrong. Passengers begin going to muster stations on their own initiative. The cruise director says, "We have a lot of people at muster stations that I do not want to fall overboard.
I would
do
have a
make
panic
an announcement
attack
to tell them to go to the lounges." Bozio says, "I think that's best." The harbour master
told her to
from
go to the
Livorno
lounges?
calls the ship.
You see how close they are together? Like, that would give me a panic attack, just the claustrophobia.
The captain tells them that we just have a blackout. How long has this blackout been going on? About 20 minutes. Have you asked passengers to put on life vests?
It's just a blackout. I gotta go. The harbour master is suspicious. He says to his superiors that he thinks something more is going on. He calls a patrol boat to the area and asks them to look at the ship. Another problem. The fan on the emergency diesel generator isn't working properly. Pelon manually has to turn the thing on and off with a screwdriver so that it doesn't overheat and cause a fire. The captain is on the phone to the lower decks, asking pointless questions.
Wolfie Dragon,
like,
thank you
"Is
for
it
the
still flooded?"
follow.
Yes, it is. The captain is essentially in denial of the situation. The harbour master calls again. Finally, he says, the ship is taking on water through an opening in the left side and the ship is listing. He qualifies with, no one dead or injured. The harbour master asks if he needs help. Just a tugboat? When in reality, they need a full rescue.
I don't like when people get so like, dude, your whole ship is effed up. What do you mean you only need this? Say you need help. Don't let your pride be like, oh, we only need this. We were fine otherwise. Like, no, man, you need all the help you can get. You've got people's lives on the line.
The captain finally realizes that things are really bad.
Maybe if we wait long enough, the water will get bored and go away, right?
The Coast Guard
just ignore it. It's fine. That's what he's
Meanwhile,
thinking.
up with the passengers, the cruise director's assistant says, everything's under control. Please return to your cabins or hang about in the lounges. No problem. She said this despite knowing it was wrong and that it further endangered lives. Most passengers at this point, though, aren't listening to this nonsense, and they're busy figuring out how to abandon ship.
Yeah, I wouldn't listen to that either. Like, you're not telling me to go relax in my cabin.
And they begin broadcasting live radio feed from the bridge.
Hey, Capo.
Captain, the passengers are going on board the boats. Okay, let them go to shore. So then general emergency? Wait, let me talk to Ferrarini. We risk the emergency generators that do not have cooling. It has cooling problems, 100 degrees.
Oh,
the cooling fan has stopped. Pelon calls the bridge and tells the safety officer they need to evacuate. The safety officer relays this to the captain, but after no response, he orders the engine room to evacuate on his own. The captain says, no, stay. We're leaving.
What is this captain doing? Why do you want people to stay?
So what do?
Water has hit the fan, literally, yeah.
The captain tells
stay with
Ferrarini
me.
that he's
It's
abandoning
fine.
ship. Abandoned ship. Another announcement is made.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. The situation is under control. Please remain calm. And at this time, proceed to your muster station. They're located outside on deck 4.
The
Do you guys
Livorno
think
Coast Guard
he's just
calls
like...
again. The captain declares distress.
Oh.
The Coast Guard officially calls for rescue operations. They contact Pietro Mille, the helicopter base commander, who then calls in every alert.
I love these little sims they've made for all the characters. Yeah, no, I think he's in denial too. It's like, you know, I'm like, yeah, it's on you, but there's a point at a time where you have to realize, okay, time to save a bunch of people. Like,
pilot, as he rushes down to the helicopter base,
we don't have time for your denial.
The emergency generator for the final time. The first rescue vessel arrives. By this point, the lifeboats are already
Let
going.
the captain cook.
Luckily, the ship is very close to shore. Oh, perhaps too close to shore. The ship forcefully runs aground, creating an uneven center of gravity, and it begins heavily listing starboard. The captain issues a general emergency on board. The announcement to abandon ship is finally called and alarms ring out, and with that comes panic. And now that they're listing, with many of the lifeboats too awkwardly positioned to enter the water, there aren't enough readily available and they have to start going back and forth to the shore, picking people up and dropping them off.
Oh, I mean, at least they're like,
at
least they're close to the shore that more people can come and go.
Warner Harbor.
How close are they? For some people, that's like swimming distance. Fortunately. Like, I think some people could swim there. You guys think you could? From that spot to shore? From based off what it looks like right now. Wait. Yeah, but the water is cold. Oh, it's a few hundred feet from shore at least. Oh, yeah, no, yeah. No, that's a good point. That's a good point.
The patrol boats report to the Livorno harbour master that the ship
Athletes,
has run
yes.
aground
Anyone
and is
else?
listing
Hell
heavily.
no.
So the harbour master asks the captain about it, and the captain says, no, the ship is still floating. In fact, we're trying to maneuver
You'd be dead as hell. I'd be dead as hell, too.
They know he's lying. Hold on, I'm reversing.
Oh, I feel so bad for these people.
The captain then says to bottom out the starboard anchor. so they drop out the anchors, but let out too much chain, effectively rendering them useless. The deputy mayor of Giglio, Mario Pellegrini, and tobacco shop owner Giovanni Rossi arrive at the harbour. They watch the scene unfold. As the first of the lifeboats arrive on shore, the deputy mayor takes the initiative and races to board one of the lifeboats, returning to the ship, and starts trying to find someone in charge. To board
he
one of the
going up
lifeboats,
like that?
returning to the ship,
Bro.
and starts trying to find someone in charge. He gives up and starts helping passengers. Scatino tells everyone to leave and take radios,
It's all the
but
animation.
not before changing out of his uniform and into a nice suit. Priorities.
Oh,
Dimitri
okay.
Christidis and Sylvia Coronica
Gotta
leave
look
with him.
fashionable when there's an emergency, right? Whenever there's a crisis, you gotta look good, no matter
Dimitri and
what.
Sir Morton both get out of there. By this point, approximately 300 people are still on the ship. Millet reaches the helicopter base. The first helicopter, a slow-moving Augusta Bell, was already rising from the tarmac for the hour-long flight south. Bozio is the last crew member left on the bridge, coordinating evacuation. He then leaves to help passengers board lifeboats. The bridge is now abandoned. And then, the ship's
Oh my
black box
God.
stops working. Apparently there were technical problems.
Imagine being like the workers too who are in no way a part of why the ship crashed, and they have to wait until they get all the passengers off the ship before they can evacuate. Like, imagine how scary that is. They have to be like, all right, let me help you guys all off and not panic about themselves. Like, that's
with it. That means, from here, things are going to get a little foggy in detail. A while later, rescue helicopters arrive, but they're struggling to find the ship because they're expecting it to still be well above water. Passengers are scaling down the port side by ladder as lifeboats return to pick them up.
This is no joke. Oh my goodness. It was no joke, mi amor.
Oh, this is horrifying. Demonica, okay.
He's not allowed to make a film
I'm
movie.
allowed.
Who say you are?
A second helicopter, a faster model, sets off. The ship stops healing and comes
Oh
to a
man, that
final
thing is
resting place.
completely
Now the
tilted.
Coast Guard calls the captain because he's just learned that the captain has...
Bro, why does this
Now the
guy
Coast
low-key
Guard-
look a little bit like Rick Grimes? Angelique, you're here!
calls the captain because he's just learned that the captain has abandoned ship. The captain claims, no, actually I slipped and I fell into one of the lifeboats. I'm a klutz. But now that I'm on board, I may as well head back to shore. DeFalco
Abandoned ship? Ain't no way! Ain't no way you really did that!
tells the captain to get the fuck back on board. And the captain kind of acts confused and then effectively refuses. So the captain makes it to shore. From here, we only have mainstream news reports to rely on, so it's not going to be super
What
accurate.
the hell?
But they say that Giglio's police chief then finds 110 survivors on the rocks at Point Gabbianara.
He just
among
left
them
it!
is the captain. It's not known whether the captain helped anyone while he was there, and in fact, the police chief claimed
I
that he
hate this
just
guy.
sat on the rocks and watched other people do the rescuing. A while later, a rescue boat picks up the captain and takes him to the harbour. He speaks to the police. He then finds the ship's onboard chaplain, Father Rafael Molina, and cried to him for about 15 minutes. Then he goes
I'm
to the
just gonna
harbour
go and cry instead of taking responsibility for any of my actions.
master's office to
Okay.
receive probably the biggest dressing down of his entire life. Port authorities ask the taxi driver to take the captain back to his hotel.
He does
Captain
need to be,
takes
he
the
needs to be
30-second cab
arrested.
ride to the Bahamas hotel. According to the cabbie, he was beaten like a dog. He was cold and afraid. He only asked me where he could buy a pair of fresh socks. But then he perked right up again and gave an interview to a news crew. He told them that he was the last to leave.
The captain is usually the last to abandon ship. What happened, Captain?
We were the last to leave the ship.
All day Saturday, rescuers searched for people on the ship.
Not him being a
On Sunday
liar,
morning, a
too.
South Korean
I honestly think that man, he cares more. You know when someone cares more about, like, their reputation when they have to, like, lie about shit like this. I think it really was, like, a pride issue. He's like, not my ship going down. that wasn't me. I'm in denial about it. Everything's gonna be fine. You know what? Actually, I'm gonna leave too. Like, come on, man. Narcissism. Yeah, you can't have a narcissistic. You can't have a narcissistic captain. Oh God.
Couple is found in their cabin, safe but shivering. On Sunday morning. All day Saturday, rescuers search for people on the ship. On Sunday morning, a South Korean couple is found in their cabin, safe but shivering. They had slept through the crash and woke up unable to exit their cabin. The last survivor, Manrico Giampandroni, was found with a broken leg. He was the cabin's service director.
No.
In the end, 32 people died. The final body wasn't discovered until nearly 3 years later. A crew member, Russell Rebello, and it's believed that he died a hero helping passengers off the ship. The Costa Concordia was the largest cruise ship disaster since the Titanic. And then there's the ship.
That's so sad.
This is what happens to a 110,000-ton cruise liner when it's left half rolled over in the ocean.
That's crazy. R.I.P. for the hero? I know. Oh, that's so sad. It makes you wonder why this isn't talked about compared to the Titanic, because this one didn't have a movie. That's why. I think it's because the Titanic was supposed to be considered, it was supposed to be considered the unsinkable ship. So the Titanic was supposed to be like iconic. It was supposed to be the ship of ships, right? That's one reason why it isn't talked about as much. The other one is because it didn't have a movie where, like, you know, yeah. And on the Titanic, like 1,000 people died, yeah. Yeah, so. Yeah, the Titanic was supposed to be considered the greatest. Yeah. Oh my God.
But this isn't the end. It's just the halfway point. What most people know is that the Costa Concordia had crashed, many dead, and that the captain abandoned ship like a coward. But there's a whole veritable spaghetti of details to untangle. Let's dive in.
What are you doing with the pasta?
There they are. The deets.
I need pasta now. Oh my God, I want some spaghetti. There's no love interest except for the captain that they're trying to romance. Yeah.
Loot box time. The Costa Concordia was more than just a floating resort. There's a mall, a casino, cha-ching, cha-ching. This iron chest was full of safes and cash registers and expensive fittings. And there were plenty of gamers prepared to sneak by authorities and try their luck in the hot zone. Within days, police divers reported that valuable items, once seen lying around the ship, were now missing. High-end liquor, expensive furniture, dining sets, cash from the casino, cash registers, jewelry and display cabinets, safes, Japanese woodblock prints by famous 18th century artists.
How does that even happen?
As well as the iconic bell, which hung from the bridge of the ship. It was never found. Who steals a big fuck-off bell? Even the server admins were getting involved.
What?
Four divers who were
Time to
part
go
of the company contracted to
deep
refloat
diving?
the Concordia
Honestly, you know,
were spotted on CCTV, sneaking the company contracted.
This is kind of like, it's kind of badass. It's kind of like they're like, you know, we might as well not let it sink. Let's go grab it. Like, I mean, you know.
The Concordia
Also, this mask goes hard. Look at this one.
Who were part of the
Look at these masks. Oh, especially the one with the black. I thought about getting like a mask for one of my models. I thought it would look really cool, you know? Yeah, like, it's free by then, it's in the water!
Company contracted to refloat the Concordia was spotted on CCTV, sneaking out to the ship. A patrol boat was dispatched, and the men were caught inside the fancy suites with rucksacks full of stolen goods. The 4 men are charged with stealing and thieving.
Is it still considered thieving if it's in the freaking ocean?
As well as legitimate items found their way to Amazon and eBay. Chips from the casino, postcards, and
I
cabin
respect the
access
hustle.
cards became highly sought after souvenirs.
It even has a watermark.
Some Australian guy even made a listing for the ship itself, advertising it as buyer to collect. And although there were plenty of bidders, eBay pulled the plug. I know you want to see Scatino go to jail, and we'll get to that. But first, we have to talk about someone else.
The captain.
Dominica
Oh, her.
Samorton.
That was a close one.
There was speculation that she was on the bridge that evening because she was the captain's mistress.
Oh, like we all didn't figure that out. It's not like we all didn't figure that out. He had the arm around her, man. He had the movie Netflix and chill arm. Ooh, big shocker.
Intense media speculation reports that her presence distracted the captain.
They
Oh,
both
of course.
denied their love for years and maintained that they were just friends. Although she did later admit to the media that she found him handsome.
Cover yourself, harlot.
But she says there was no romantic link between them.
Why is this in the
would like to
newspapers?
believe, they want to know I have something with him. It's more interesting. It's like, you know, some spicy in the story.
Miss Samorton also loved the spotlight, however,
Everyone, oh no!
and took several interviews. But as the pressure mounted upon her, she began making ominous threats to Scatino,
No.
saying he must confess, and that you have but 1 week to come clean.
What is
Things
this
from here get
expression?
weird. That you have but 1 week to come clean.
This girl, her face.
But things from here get weird.
Spicy.
Samorton is a bit of a wild card. In a subsequent interview, she claimed a helicopter came to the ship well before the other rescue craft to take away a package.
Oh shit.
And what was that package? Drugs,
Look how the
apparently.
Apex boot bomb.
So
Oh.
rumors began that the ship was running narcotics for the mafia.
Oh
And
shit.
not without cause. A number of cruise ships, even recently, have been caught trafficking drugs. As an aside, Scatino
So
was
basically, she was like, "Oh, you want to blame me for this? Let me talk about the drugs."
tested for drugs.
Rare Thunder, thank you so much for the 12 months. Thank you, and thank you for resubscribing for 6. I appreciate it, darling. Thank you. Thank you.
Immediately after the crash, he tested negative for drugs in his system, but trace amounts of cocaine were found in a hair sample.
Makes it smoother and less dry.
Nonetheless, the Concordia was searched and no drugs were reportedly ever found. How did we get here? Oh, right, a helicopter. Samorton commented on it again the next day and said, actually, that helicopter was just for the captain as a means of evacuation from the ship. Okay, wait. So she expected to get some sort of first-class rescue while everyone else was still stuck on the ship? Wait, how did we get here? Oh, right, sex with the captain. Divers were quick to head to the captain's cabin where they found Miss Samorton's lingerie and other articles of clothing as well
I
as
like how
makeup
they have
Miss Samorton's lingerie and
coconut bras. I want to wear a coconut bra. I've never worn a coconut bra before. I want to try it.
other articles of clothing as well as a makeup bag. The jig was up.
I have this makeup bag.
And other articles of clothing
I
as well as
just
a makeup
bought this
bag.
makeup bag like last month. Quack, thank you so much for the follow.
The jig was up, but they continued denying it. Samorton mostly
Looking at
faded
nip
from
knots?
international attention until she was told to appear before the court to present witness testimony.
Big wheel,
The
thank you
judge
for the
pressed her
follow.
to be truthful about their relationship, or she would be held in contempt.
Either tell me the truth or shut up.
So finally, she admitted it.
Yes, I had a sentimental relationship with the captain.
Why does that matter?
But now, stop asking about my private life.
She was indeed the captain's lover.
What is up, Trouble Alert Nation?
God.
Scatino cheated on his wife with Seymour Tan. Oh my god!
She and
Ah,
Scatino
she
had-
distracted me. My pee-pee was too hard, and the blood rushed to my pee-pee, so there was no blood in my head for me to think. So because there was blood in my pee-pee, I couldn't steer the ship the correct way and direct everything because my pee-pee was too hard.
had been having an affair for several weeks. She also said that on the night she boarded, she didn't have a ticket.
Ticket, please.
And didn't need to pay because nobody questions you when you're the captain's lover. Naturally, she gave another confusing interview after leaving
All
court.
her fault.
I want to say that today is the second time I died because the first time I died in the night of the crash with my psychological brain and problems.
My
And today I
psychological
died
brain.
the second time because, of course, people find out something that I try to hide.
Subsequent to the trial, she used her fame in Moldova to become a
Hard
political
PPB
activist,
doing that
often
sometimes.
appearing on television and radio and in articles covering protests, accompanied by pictures of her being arrested by police.
Oh God, this is too much. This is too much. Your Honor, my island client is innocent on accounts of porny.
It was some stuff about victims of violence, women's rights,
Girl power.
yada yada yada, and interestingly, part of a push to block the sale of shares of Moldova's train network to Russia.
Sure.
Other than that, I don't really know what she's been
No,
up
she
to. Let me
is
just
the
check on
dum
her
dum. That is for sure.
No,
It's
God,
not her
again.
fault that it crashed. That is true, but she is certainly something. I won't deny that one. Oh.
Several civil suits were quickly lodged against Costa Crociere, and their parent company, Carnival Cruises, immediately saw a share drop of 23%.
Don't beat.
Passengers sought compensation for their damaged mental health, lost belongings, and loved ones.
Oh,
Either they
no.
allowed him to divert from his course.
I wasn't laughing at that. I was laughing at this guy's lips here. This. Yeah.
Don't beat.
Passengers
The
sought
voice,
compensation
"Don't
for their damaged mental health, lost belongings, and loved ones.
Either they allowed him to divert from his course, or they didn't know where their billion-dollar ship was.
Within a few days, facing financial and media pressure, the CEO attempted to join the bandwagon against the captain and the crew.
That was not the ordinary route that the ship was taking at the time, and was not only taking, but the time the ship was...
Claiming that the ship was not approved to deviate from the route. But that wasn't true. Approval isn't required if the ship is deviating by less than 15 miles, or that it was against company rules. Also untrue, because investigators found that they didn't have any rules about deviating route, and they tacitly encouraged sail-by salutes. Now, in response to the civil suits, Costa Crociere offered passengers 11,000 euros each as compensation.
That's kind of small.
11,000 euros,
It's
about
not small, it's
$14,000,
average.
is the minimum compensation under international law when a ship is abandoned.
This was to reimburse them for their tickets, as well as any costs they accrued in having to unexpectedly travel home early.
And that was supposed to release them from everything and anything that has to do with this accident. I cannot ask for more than this.
A lot of passengers, understandably, were not too happy with this deal, and they refused to take the money.
We think the offer is an insult. For what these poor passengers went through, we think that
Respect.
the compensation being offered is not commensurate.
Here, take it.
Compensation being offered is not commensurate.
Later, Costa Crociere would lodge a plea deal with the Tuscany court to pay a €1 million fine to avoid a criminal trial. The judge
Ship
agrees.
sinks? Yeah, it's
Costa
not out of the
Crociere
ordinary.
is
Yeah,
now
yeah.
off the hook
Crazy.
for all criminal liability for the whole thing. They've washed their hands of the incident and flecked the residual droplets of responsibility onto the faces of 6 staff members. Passengers and relatives of the dead are livid that the company has been able to avoid criminal responsibility.
Offered is not commensurate.
Civil suits against the
Bro,
company
the company always gets away with shit.
continue.
It's always
By the way,
how
the
it
residents
happens.
of the island of Giglio also banded together and sought damages. They didn't get much. Eventually, passengers who refused the initial compensation of 11,000 joined civil parties against Scatino in his trial in 2015.
Is not commensurate.
They were awarded 30,000 euros each. Other cases, especially those involving lost relatives, are settled for undisclosed amounts.
Oh my god. Oh my gosh. Would you look at that? A powerful, rich entity avoiding accountability for its actions.
New York attorney
Dude, and
Peter
it still
Renee
happens.
traveled to Budapest to represent 6 real survivors of the disaster.
It's
Now,
weird that
Renee-
a judge could completely relieve them of any criminal responsibility. It's insane, right? Like, it's actually crazy, and it's the companies get away with it. Yeah, oh, it's just the, yeah, I don't care for the captain, obviously. He sucks. But, like, bro.
And Renee, we personally work on every case.
And we'll work harder than anyone to get you the most money possible in the shortest amount of time.
And while on the job, a 7th case cropped up via email. An elderly woman, a loner, said,
"Help me, Mr. Ronai, for I have lost my daughter, Eva, and my 5-year-old granddaughter, Roxana."
So Mr. Renai agreed to speak with her. However, there were some inconsistencies in her story.
Oh, is she
Neither
trying
Eva
to
nor
scam?
Roxana were on the passenger list. Odd, but Costa is known for having stowaways.
Gotcha, bitch!
Still, Mr. Renai was suspicious. They wouldn't cheaty old Petey, would they? Renai inquired further about why she was on board, especially without a ticket.
Oh,
Ilona
shit.
said,
Well, I don't know, but you should ask her boyfriend.
Zolt Horvath.
This is getting more and more
He'll know all the
messy.
details.
I'm up all night. I'm going crazy.
This guy is definitely up to some shit. He has the I'm up to no good hairstyle. This is the this is most definitely it. That and obviously the expression, but it's most definitely the hairstyle.
But Mr. Renai was still suspicious. Because then she asked, how much money do you think this is worth? This is a huge red flag, Petey. In 20 years of doing this, you've never had anyone ask about
If
money.
someone asks you about money,
Why
it's
now?
obviously a freaking scam.
So Mr. Renai hired an investigator and sent photos around of the missing girl. The next day, the phone rang. Oh, hoi hoi. It was the boyfriend again.
The toothpick, yeah.
There's been a bit of a misunderstanding and the child isn't missing at all. Uh-huh. And then he claimed he was confused because he had done too many drugs the night before. Oh. Okay, can I speak to the daughter then? At first, he was refused. So Renai said that he'd have to file a missing persons report to the police if he couldn't. The boyfriend relented. That night, Renai met with Zolt and brought the police with him. He speaks to the granddaughter and asks her if she's seen Mum. Yeah, I saw her today. Oh, really? Yeah, we went to the park today and we went on the swings. Oh no.
What?
The jig was up. So the mum walks into the room sheepishly. It's a miracle. And the story changed again. Okay, I'm not dead, but I did injure my leg when I jumped from the ship. And then I immediately flew back to Budapest. Although don't worry about checking my leg because there are no visible marks or injuries.
This is
Petey,
insane.
I'm beginning to think they
Brother
weren't even
Blame,
on
thank
the
you for the
boat.
follow.
Also, it turns out this lady isn't her mum, it's just a neighbor. Eventually, Renee managed to make the pair confess. And then they said, hey, we haven't done anything wrong. We haven't taken any money. And in the end, it looks like there'll be no criminal punishment for the scam.
Busted! You got
Hungary,
caught.
a former
Yeah.
communist country, has no laws against insurance fraud on the books.
The law firm that never sleeps, call 1-800-664-7.
Yeah. It was just a huge waste of time. Exactly.
That's a bad idea. That's a very bad idea.
No! Oh no!
Mario, would you teach me some Italian?
Oh, of course.
Get back on board for fuck's sake.
Okay, thanks.
Dude,
Gregorio
I want
de
some
Felder,
pasta.
the naval officer who shouted at Scatino to Vada a bordo caso, became a bit of a national hero
It's
overnight
Rick
in
Grimes
Italy.
again.
He, like the rest of the world, expected Scatino to go down with the ship. And when the captain chickened out, the ship expected Scatino to go down with the ship.
Bro.
And
With
when the
the
captain
lipstick.
chickened out, DeFalco was there to admonish him. And when he stopped answering the radio, he called him on his cell phone to continue putting him on blast. When the captain first reported just a blackout, DeFalco didn't believe the story and immediately began preparing a rescue effort, which likely saved several lives.
DeFalco's the true homie
by
here.
most Italians who were tired of their public servants being corrupt and avoiding responsibility. Accordingly, shirts sporting Vada a bordo caso were being printed by the end of the week, others setting it as their phone's ringtone. But then, in September 2014, without warning, DeFalco was transferred to an admin role in the Coast Guard.
Hear what I said? He'd been demoted.
DeFalco said that he had been passed up for promotion, that he had also not been told which admin office he was even being transferred to.
Wait, what?
And that it all effectively cancelled 10 years of his career. DeFalco was Tres Furioso.
Very upset.
And there was public speculation that it was owing to bad blood between himself and Admiral Delano, his former boss. His status among the public overshadowed his superior in many ways. On the other hand, his boss said, no, it's part of the normal career progression for naval officers, and that he must show more maturity and professionalism to advance his career. Now, it's hard to know what's...
Bro, they actually demoted him. They demoted him, and he had a whole bunch of experience too, and he was the guy that was like telling the captain that he effed up, bro. And then he did, oh, well, you know, oh my gosh. Oh, it's normal. It's normal for us to demote people. Yeah,
must
okay.
show more maturity and professionalism to advance his career. Now, it's hard to know what's true in office politics, so let's leave that alone. And anyway, in 2018, DeFalco said buenas noches, later to the Italian Navy to become a politician. In March that year, he was elected to the Italian Senate, serving as a member for Livorno. He still serves there today.
I'm the captain now.
Jail time.
The day after the disaster, Schettino was taken into custody by police and underwent questioning. However, it was clear that this would not be a straightforward investigation. So the judge...
This is probably the actual dance he probably does do. This is... I can picture it. Sometimes you can tell what type of dancing people would do. I feel like this would be his jig.
It was clear that this would not be a straightforward investigation. So the judge released him under house arrest at his home in Sorrento, a town in Napoli. By July of that year, the house arrest was relaxed and he was allowed within this general area. While under house arrest, he wrote a book with this journalist from Rai magazine. I have no idea what it says, I don't speak Italian. But goddammit, he must have some kind of charisma going on, because there's been a lot of speculation in the press that he had an affair with her as well.
You can't keep getting away with
this man.
I got it. Not content with abandoning his ship, this dude is determined to abandon his wife as well.
Dude, this guy has priorities. This man is like, listen, I won't go down the ship, but I will go down on other places. I can't. Oh, this guy must have mad riz. Like, this is ridiculous. JJK, thank you for the follow.
So, Schettino and 5 others are facing criminal charges. Straight away, everyone lodges a plea bargain with the court, and all of those plea bargains are accepted, except for Schettino's. And the condition of everyone's reduced sentences are that they must provide witness testimony against Schettino.
He touched me.
Ciro, Jacob, and Sylvia were all given suspended sentences. Roberto and Manrico are able to opt for community service or all given suspended sentences.
So,
Roberto and Manrico are able...
Well, why were the rest of them getting arrested? And maybe that slipped through my brain, but like, I understand like Jacob, but some of them weren't necessarily responsible, right? Like, a few of these guys weren't responsible, from what I know. Based on what he told us, there was Jacob who, you know, had the struggle with, you know, he was definitely. So the bridge crew incompetence. So the entirety, because they played a part in the disaster. Okay, because I thought it was mainly the captain and Jacob, you know, that was the biggest issue. And Sylvia.
Able to opt
Everyone's
for
guilty
community
here.
service or house
Okay.
arrest. Not a bad deal.
A good deal. Good deal.
And that meant that Schettino was now all on his own. Ciro, the first officer, was the first to give his testimony. On the witness stand, he claimed that Schettino was distracted by his mistress. and other guests on the bridge.
So wait.
On the witness stand, he claimed that Schettino was distracted by his mistress and other guests on the bridge.
That should not be a claim.
Then there was confusion over who was in command. Then it was Jacob's turn, and he said Lamau XD because he didn't actually bother with his testimony or his reduced sentence. He just fled the country. It took authorities 12 months to eventually track him down on the outskirts of Jakarta. And when they said, "Oi, we still want that witness testimony," he just scarped again. And he hasn't been found since.
Oh
After
my
that,
God.
Ferrarini gave his testimony, then look, we don't have time to relitigate the whole trial, so let's just go
And then they found him and then he left again.
straight to the verdict. Guilty!
He left.
Schettino was found guilty of multiple manslaughter, causing a shipwreck, abandoning ship, and lying to authorities. He is sentenced to 16 years and 1 month in prison. But wait, there's still the appeals. The appeals trial begins.
He
and
just
the
dipped.
verdict on
Yeah,
the
yeah,
appeal,
he was just gone.
Surprise! Rejected. So Schettino's lawyers appealed again. And the verdict on the final appeal?
Rejected?
Schettino made multiple attempts to secure a plea deal, but was denied by the prosecution each time. The prosecution called for Schettino to be sentenced to 26 years in prison, calling the incident a Titanic affair.
Oh, okay, I see what you did there.
Schettino was not present. His lawyers stated that he was waiting outside of the jail for the ruling, so that if his plea was rejected, he could immediately start serving his sentence. And with that, 5 years and 4 months after the disaster, he was finally in a cell.
I will not be making any comment.
Yeah, he's not going anywhere. Nope. For sure. But that's oh, that's what. Oh my God, chat.
The salvage operation was enormous. It took over 2 years and cost an estimated $1.2 billion. Beginning in early 2012, they first spent 2 months pumping fuel from the ship's tanks. At the same time, they had to pump seawater in so that the balance wasn't affected and the ship didn't slide around. In early 2013, a platform was built under the ship to prevent it from falling further. Sponsons were then attached to the sides of the ship and cables attached to the underwater platform. The sponsons were then dragged underwater and opened up to allow the ocean to fill them. The ship could then roll over properly. By late 2013, the ship was upright once more. The sponsons were then attached to the side of the ship to help keep it balanced. It now rested partially above water and crews could walk around safely. By July 2014, the water was removed from the sponsons and compressed air was pumped in to lift the ship.
Oh.
And she was ready to cruise again. This time to a port in Genoa.
I would never get after knowing that ship went down already. I would never get on it.
The 4-day towing journey to the docks where a 2-year process of dismantling and recycling would begin. That same weekend of the towing, Schettino was busy. He was the guest of honor at a white party on an island in the Bay of Naples. He appeared on the front page of a local newspaper, flanked by 2 of Italy's most eligible bachelorettes.
This man has just been thinking with his pee-pee for the entire time.
Anyway, so these are the things that I remember from the Costa Concordia.
Oh.
That sweet
This is actual,
the sea.
yeah.
And as for you, little fella, well, it's time to return you from whence you came.
PP too powerful. Honestly, yeah, no. Jedia Dawn, thank you for subscribing. Thank you, I appreciate it. Guys.
6 quick things. 1. NordVPN, good product, check them out. Number 2, there's a new video on the second channel. You probably didn't see it because it was temporarily restricted. Now it's not. Enjoy.